Welcome to Talk Time. This week I am going to be reviewing this, the CCM Bobber, which has been up on the website and has attracted a lot of negative comments. Seems people have some fairly strong feelings about it. And I think in fairness that's absolutely right, because my view of this is that we are looking at a piece of modern automotive art, and art by its nature will always be very divisive. It's right you should have people arguing strongly for it, and it's equally right you should have people defending it and arguing strongly for it. I think it's important to find out what the substance of this bike is about, not just the skin deep face value. This is a beautiful, beautiful looking bike. The more you look, the more detail you see, and the more the engineering and the cost and the love that's gone into this reveals itself. These yokes are the kind of thing you would pay a lot of money for aftermarket. They've clearly been CNC machined in-house. This is the kind of bike you would build if you had the skill and a lottery-winning machine shop to yourself. We're looking at a front end which is both bespoke and of course off the shelf. These are 43mm upside down Marzocchi forks. They've clearly been bought in with a radial mount both sides rather than something specifically built for this bike. And I guess we found a get out of jail free card with this beautifully machined bracket. I don't love it. The caliper is over here on the other side where we've got traditional 4-pot Brembo, and it's gripping. Oh, see, I'm looking for the disc on this side, but again, we've got a wavy disc, which is 320mm disc on this side. So everything basically that does the work is over here. It's a 16-inch spoked front wheel, and we are running, what are we running? We're running Avon Cobras, 130/90/16 big white wall tire. It's a very chunky tire on the front. It's a much smaller looking tire on the back, so I'm guessing this is all about the looks and following the front end feel. The detail on this bike really pulls you in. It's a very tactile thing, beautiful. This 3-piece CNC machined front mudguard bracket is just an absolute work of art. I don't know who's designed this, the time and effort that's gone into this, and it's holding this very funky looking little carbon mudguard, but the star of the show is definitely in the machine shop. He's continued his work all the way up and round here on this headlight bracket, which is holding probably a not very effective carbon screen because it's underneath the clocks anyway, but this is all just beautiful, 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 beautiful. The whole bike just says, I am so beautiful. So I confess £10,000 is a lot of money for a 600cc single. You can see where some of the money has gone, but certainly not into that engine, which is an ex-Husqvarna dirt bike engine. Up here though, we do have a lot more money spent. We've got a Brembo master cylinder on the front with these beautifully machined levers. We've got cable clutch on the left-hand side carrying that lever theme through. We have a funky little choke thing going on, some sexy little bar end mirrors, these beautifully wound grips. It's all brown leather. It feels good. You want to hold on to it. The main bike itself, this is the star of the show. This is a hand-welded tubular steel frame. You can see the finish on it, you can see the hand welds, the whole thing's been done and then lacquered. Again, it's more of a work of art than a motorcycle, this. It's something quite special to get up and close to. We're running on top of that a 14-litre fuel tank, which is good for probably 57 miles per gallon. The downside, or the first downside I've found, is this fuel tank mechanism. I think it's been designed and made by the same person that created the side stand, which is also a pest. It's a kind of wind in, line it up, wind it in, get it right, and then when you get to a certain point, press it down, turn it and hold it. It's neat, but it's also a little bit fussy. So then hanging in this cradle frame is this, not particularly glamorous, but tried and tested. It's 56 brake horsepower and we've got 43 pounds-foot of torque in this 600cc engine. As I said, ex-Husqvarna. There's some nice details. I don't know why we have a 2x2 on a single. That's quite impressive. Maybe it's a design feature. We've got a very nice little battery box tucked in here, which I'm guessing must have the smallest battery in the world. And then a single monoshock tucked up under there. But as you can see, we're on K&N cone filters there. Not great for the wet, but at least they're not hanging out the side. They're not going to get rained on. As a design detail, they're tucked up there quite safely under the seat, so you could go out in the wet, which is a good thing because today is wet. So this YSS fully adjustable rear shock is beautifully offset to the right. I don't know if that's purely to fit in the filter or if it's just because they're going down the artwork route. The tubular steel swing arm is carried back here onto the 16-inch rear wheel. We've got a little single piston Brembo again, so we've got Brembo at the front, Brembo at the back, Brembo master cylinders, it's all happening. And we've got some details. We need to have a look at a couple of details. Onto the brake reservoir, you've got this very tiny little bracket with the Union Jack kind of detailing actually cut into that. And then this Union Jack theme is carried round into this unbelievably delightful seat bracket with the tail light included in there, the little Union Jack across the back. I'm going to show you how this starts up and lights up because I want to see it. As I said, or as I maybe didn't say, I nearly bought one of these and I stupidly cancelled my order because of the wait time. So I am wondering at the moment, did I miss out on something good or did I dodge a bullet? So on the left-hand side, we've got a traditional chain drive all the way back. We've got this beautiful carbon hugger, keeping the back end clean. We're coming over here. This caliper does grip onto this very wavy looking 240mm disc, and then we've got this big piece of stuff here, the bracket, probably a little bit cumbersome, coming back and holding the lights, the number plate and the gubbins. So this bike absolutely nails it in terms of design and styling. It oozes 1940s flat tracker style, and yet underneath it has some very stylish technology. I just wave this fob underneath the back seat. Magic. In the 1940s, that would be absolute magic. Pull on this little lever here and fire it up. And then we can see lovely looking headlights at the front. And then round here at the back, we've got beautiful, absolutely beautiful. 113 of 500. It's all very lovely. It's clearly designed, like all art is designed, to make you feel special, to make you feel like you're one of a kind. And yeah, it kind of does that. It kind of does that. The visual cues, the engineering cues, all the physical aspects of the bike itself are excitable. And it goes. First things first, CCM Bobber. We haven't got off to the best start. I picked it up this morning with 9 psi in the front and 11 in the back, and it wants 29 front and rear, according to the owner's online electronic handbook. So yeah, not the best start. We've nipped into Tesco's. Other supermarket petrol retailers are of course available. We've filled it up, or I have, 29.29, and we're underway properly underway. Things I just do not like at all. Side stand. I don't like the side stand. The side stand is horrible. It's a weird thing. It's a windy day today. It's wet and it's windy and there's leaves all over the ground. So that's going to make life interesting. The side stand just feels like the bike wants to fall over standing up. So while I'm kneeling down, putting air in the tyres. The wind's just flicking through this little thing, and the side stand keeps it up, almost vertical. It just feels like it's vertical. It's not leaning over at all. It works, and to look at, it makes the bike look good because it's standing mostly upright. So the side stand, don't like it. These bar end mirrors, dear God, just forget about them. Whoever put those bar end mirrors on, they understand what the bike looks like and how to walk around it, but they were never, ever, ever planning to ride it and see anything that was going on behind them. Not a chance. They're not even, they're not even useless. They're next to useless. Also, this is a brand new bike, brand new tyres, not scrubbed in, and I'm not getting a lot of grip at the moment. Even if they were, I wouldn't be getting much grip. But I'm just getting next to nothing. So, not the most confidence inspiring. Clutch. The clutch just bites right away. Even a ball hair off of fully in, you can't two finger. You can't sort of just two finger hold. Changes gear good enough, but I can't find neutral. For the life of me, it just wants to run wide. I can't find neutral. So that's not good. At the moment, we're not gelling. And I'm starting to wonder if this bike really is all about the looks, because I love it to look at. I absolutely love it. I don't know why you wouldn't have one of these in your garage, because you would. And bear in mind it's October. I'm not being as fair as I could be to this thing. It's wet, it's cold, it's new, it's not mine. All of these things count against anything as a first impression. So first impressions are a little bit strained. They are second, first, even getting into first is a little bit sticky. We could probably filter through there, maybe not through that one. So instead of heading out on the open road, ooh, suspension's reasonably solid, we're going into town. I've decided to take this thing to the place I suspect after a short road test that it belongs. Honestly can't make up my mind how I feel about it. So useless mirrors, very vibey engine. I'm getting a lot of vibration through the bars, but is this really designed to go out and do long distances? Are you going anywhere on this bike? Other than maybe your local coffee shop, a bike meet, Coast Road to North Berwick, go and get an ice cream, something like that. What are these things really for? At 10 grand, it's not your only bike. Couldn't possibly be. Yeah, it's kind of feel good, but it's not. It's feel good, but it's not. Don't mean to be confusing, but at the moment I'm getting very conflicted messages about this bike. I think it's designed to feel good, but I'm not actually feeling that good. So all the cues are there, and when I look down, SkunkwerX 213 of 500, I should be feeling awesome about myself. And it's more meh, it's okay. It's okay. Tell you what though, at 10 grand, you're buying a lot of bits that have been carefully put together by somebody in an upmarket shed. It's like a kind of millionaire's special. if you had loads of money and all the conventional mainstream bikes, you'd ridden it, you'd done it, you'd been there, you'd proved your manhood, you might think, what about something just ridiculously fun that makes no sense whatsoever? So I'm in first, and I'd like to find neutral. Clutch is fully in. Do you know, there's absolutely no movement on that gear peg at all. It actually, it just doesn't want to move. The only way I can find neutral on this is by stalling it. It's just probably not the best approach, so stall it, no problem. There we go, neutral, perfect. And then fire it up off of this absolutely beautiful kill switch. So there's a way around, there's a workaround you can work around. It's lovely. Every time you stop, it's lovely. You look at the mirrors and think, they're lovely. I can see, what can I see? I can see the bottom front wheel of the car behind me, but only because I'm straight. If I go slightly right, I can see the road sign, I can see the woodland, I can see nothing of use whatsoever. You should just kill these off, unless you're never going anywhere. I'm glad this is not my motorcycle, because you actually feel quite bad for taking it out in weather like this and getting it dirty. It's not a taking it out and getting it dirty sort of thing. In fact, it's not a take it out in October thing at all. And you know, if I'm going to go there, I'd probably go all the way there and say, I'm not even sure it's a motorcycle. It's not an adventure bike. It's not a sports bike. It's not even really a retro bike, because retro bikes feel like a modern bike, but look like an old one. This feels like an old one and looks like an old one. It's not a trailie. It looks like a flat tracker, but it's not a flat tracker. You're not going to take this into a speedway anytime soon, even with that big single, and go flying around, because it's just not what it wants. So what is it? That's what I've been trying to work out. What is it? Well, the best I can come up with so far is that it's a painting with wheels. Painting with wheels, you say? Yes, a painting with wheels, I say. We're back to the work of art. And with motorcycles, you tend to be comparing one motorcycle with another. This is better than that. This fulfills the role better than that. But when it comes to works of art, you don't have to do that. With a work of art, a painting, a sculpture, anything you see in a gallery, you kind of have to take it in its own right. You just got to look at it as it is and decide how you feel about it based on what you see or what you feel. So the big wide bars help it to turn in very nicely. The handling's nimble, as you'd expect from a 135 kilo bike, but there is nothing really refined about this at all. That engine is, I don't know, what is it? I'm not even going to say agricultural. It's rattly, it's thumpy. You'd have to love your big, oh, okay. There's that clutch catching me out. And it does. You'd have to love your big singles. I could edit that out, but you know, I don't think we're going to. It's more honest to try and get a feeling of what this bike is all about. Nice for getting in and out of traffic. There's no problem with that. Just thread your way like a needle through it all. Yeah, it's not refined. That clutch is on or off. It's on or off. There's no subtlety to it. The engine responds well, but I don't know, it just hasn't got me at all. It's kind of like two bikes in one. To look at, you get all emotionally and gooey. Oh, beautiful, beautiful this, beautiful that. Look at the way it's crafted. But to ride around, none of that comes across. There's a horrible vibration that runs all the way up through the frame, through the clocks. You can hear the clocks rattling. It's like when the wind is rattling at your windows. That's not the turn I want. And you can feel it going through the whole house. And it makes that very uncomfortable noise. Like something's about to get broken. This has got that feeling. I think the only way to give it a chance is just to slow the whole thing down a little bit. Just relax. Stop trying to work it. Stop trying to find out how it handles, how it goes. Just kind of move through the world on something beautiful. In what feels like it's blowing something of a gale. Look at the colours. We really are changing the year. Autumn is indeed here. There we go, when it's all a bit more muted. The engine's not working so hard. You're not trying to find the gear at short notice. Just relax and take your whole life a little bit more easily. I'm getting a very sore hand from holding the clutch in, so I think I'm just going to stall it again in order to find neutral. And you know, maybe that's forgivable. First into third. Oh, dearie me. It's been a long time since I felt quite this incompetent on a motorcycle. It's just unrelenting. There we go. Good. Good. Good and thrice good. So once you fully get to grips with what it is that you're dealing with, you can actually start thinking about taking it to its natural home. Look at that. A man with flat nipples half buried into the pavement. This must be art. I think we're in the right place. I'm really not sure if this is odd or if I've wandered out of bounds and found a couple of septic tanks that run the toilets. For a layman like me, I'm constantly asking myself the question, what is art? And apparently, this is with absolute certainty from 1951, Sir Henry Moore's reclining figure. And if you can see a reclining figure in this, I don't know, we got something like an intimation of a head, and we've got intimations of limbs. You're supposed to superimpose your imagination somehow onto this and see beyond what you're being faced with. So in that sense, the CCM Bobber is in fact probably not art. It's automotive art. It's a very specialist thing because I've been waving this transponder all around the place, and it doesn't matter where I offer it up, it's never going to start. Could I ride around on this? Very unlikely. And this is probably worth like 10 million squids, when for £10,000 you could ride around. Can you have that? Maybe not, but you have now. And a bit like a fungus, it's kind of growing on me. I still have to press kill rather than bother with neutral. You're not going to find neutral. Maybe in 600 miles, maybe 6,000 miles, none of these will do 6,000 miles. You'll maybe find neutral then. It's impossible. But until then, I found a workaround. Fire. Leave it in first. Off you go. Feeling good about yourself. Next set of lights. No problem. Kill. Fire and kill. Who thought that up? It's a little bit dark, is it not? Start and stop. Ignition, non-ignition? No. Let's go with fire and kill. Because those two things are very primeval. And most people know all about them. Yep. Hey, of course they're looking at it. It's beautiful. And you get a little bit of rub off from that. They're looking at the bike, but in that way they're looking at you. And because your bike's beautiful, hey, you must have very good taste. And if you've got very good taste, then I suppose you must be somebody. That's part of what art's about. That's why we're all wandering around. Oh, fire. That's why we're all wandering around with, hey, 20 grand watches, £5,000 bespoke suits. It's part of that. Don't make it your only bike. But make it your bike. Make it your bike for when you don't really need one. You just want to go somewhere. Show off a little bit. Everyone's looking. Don't pull out on me. Thank you very much. This is the capital. It's kind of an urban cruiser. There you go. Is that a thing? An urban cruiser. I suppose it is a thing. No, I'm not going to put it in a box. I refuse to put it in a box. This is the kind of motorcycle that absolutely will not be put in a box. Oh, sitting at the lights, so kill. See, the world is full of art. Oh, don't do it. No, good. The world is full of art. Look in front of me. We have all these galleries to art. Look at the size of that building. Monet, a taste for impressionism. Hang on a second, kill. Degas Van Gogh, the man that cut his ear off for the sake of art. I don't think I need to do anything foolish like that anytime soon. But there we are. We have these urban city centre temples to art. It's clearly something that we love and collect and worship and adore. Yes, sir. This is a very stylish motorcycle. See? He was stylish. He recognized style. So why should you not have one of these tucked away in the back of your man cave, or your garage, or your barbecue hut, or whatever other lifestyle structure? Are we ready to fire? You need to be ready. You need to be sharp. Yep. Or other lifestyle sculpture that you decided. Not sculpture, structure. You couldn't buy a garden shed for this price. You couldn't buy a painting, not at any reputable art gallery. There's another bloody art gallery. Look at the size of these places. They're all chock full of art. And you can ride around on yours. Okay, it's growing on me. It's a damn sight better than getting the bus. Do you know, I've not totally understood this all day. All day I've just not grasped it at all. Not been able to get quite to grips with what it is and what it's about. And yet, just as we get to the later parts of the day and I find my way through the city and it's time to go home. Oh, kill. I almost feel the hankering of wanting one. Oh, dear God. I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to quantify that. Fire. No. Not ready. Kill. I'm not sure how you're supposed to quantify that. I do think I dodged a bullet. But at the same time, I still kind of want one. Glad that battery doesn't pack up, because you're stopping and starting this an awful lot. So quite comfortably with this particular motorcycle, it's the first one that I could bring to somewhere like this, the Scottish Gallery of Modern Art, and I think I could leave it and just walk away. It would fit in perfectly. In fact, it's a damn sight more beautiful than some of the things I've wandered around this place and had a look at. To ride, I still can't quite make up my mind. I don't gel with it. Everything's quite gnarly and grisly and difficult to access. It's not even the whole analog in a digital world thing which you can sort of let your heart go out to. I do love it. I would absolutely have one, but I'd have it in my house. I'd never ride it, and I'd probably save myself tens of thousands of pounds over the painting I might have bought if I'd ever had the money to buy it. So join me next week for another review where hopefully I will have something that is a little bit more substance and function and not simply all about pure form. Remember when I said cancel the deposit or have I dodged a bullet? Well, so this definitely pulls off the whole 1940s flat tracker style bike in terms of design and styling. I'm guessing it's going to ride a lot better than that. This is something of its tricks. Underneath here we have press and go, and didn't come on at all. Seat, I offer this fob, and the whole thing comes to life, which it doesn't. So, right, so it goes through its full cycle. This is not bad. We're not going to stop this. Mind you, I have to stop it for fuel. This is not looking like my sort of a day. Starting to feel a little bit like I may have dodged a bullet. Time to go and speak to Google.